Hello, my dear students. Myself, Dr. Pitambar Humne, founder Botany for You, and working as Professor and Head Department of Botany, Dharampet MP Dev Memorial Science College, Nagpur, Maharashtra, India. I welcome you all in this online platform for the students of Life Sciences Botany for You. Friends, if you are new or not yet subscribed our YouTube channel Botany for You, then kindly like, share and subscribe our YouTube channel Botany for You. And if you want to associate with us through the Telegram group, then the link is given in the description. Through that, you can join the Telegram group and take the advantage of the different career opportunities in India and abroad in life sciences. And also the literature assistance in the form of PDF. In last class, we have seen the CAM pathway. And the today's class is our last class in the photosynthesis. So, in today we will see the photorespiration and glycolate metabolism, that is C2 cycle. So let's see today's topic. Friends, if you see just a photorespiration, then you will find that it is the combination of the two different words, that is the photosynthesis and the respiration. And here the glycolic acid is metabolized, hence it is known as the glycolate metabolism. And the first component, that is glycolate, which is the 2-carbon compound, and hence this pathway is known as the C2 cycle. Also, it is known as the photosynthetic carbon oxidation cycle, because after the fixation of the oxygen, here during this process there is a oxidation. So earlier we have seen the process of the photosynthesis, and the reaction for the photosynthesis is, that is the 6 times CO2 plus 12 times H2O in presence of sunlight and the chlorophyll. There is formation of hexose sugar, that is C6H12O6, and 6 times H2O and 6 times water. So here after fixation of the carbon dioxide, the hexose sugar is the photosynthetic yield or the product. So this is the simple or the normal process of the photosynthesis. But if we see the another process, that is the respiration. So in the respiration, here the organic compound, that is the hexose sugar or the carbohydrate or the glucose, is oxidized into the carbon dioxide and water with release of energy in the form of the ATP molecules. We will see in the detail the respiration in upcoming classes. So here there is a release of carbon dioxide and absorption of the oxygen. So in photorespiration, here the same type of the condition is there, that there is a part of the photosynthesis also and respiration also. When the Kotko et al. From the Canada was working on gaseous exchange in plants, he found that there is an increase in the acidity of some of the plants. Again, here there is an increase in the concentration of the carbon dioxide or release of carbon dioxide during the day is more as compared to the night. Very commonly, when the normal respiration is carried out, here the rate of respiration during the day and the rate of respiration during the night is same. But at the same time, the photosynthesis is carried out during the day, and hence the carbon dioxide which is released during the respiration during the day is also used for the photosynthesis. But here they found that there is a more release of the carbon dioxide during the day and less during the night. And because of that, now it is in existence, there is somewhat alternate pathway than that of the normal photosynthesis, and it is coupled with that of the absorption of the oxygen, and hence it is known as the photorespiration. Now if we compare this process with that of the Kelvin cycle that we have seen earlier in the photosynthesis, which is the carbon assimilation or the carbon fixation, earlier we have seen in the Kelvin cycle that the carbon dioxide is absorbed by the ribulose 1,5 biphosphate, and there is a formation of unstable compound, that is the 6 carbon addition compound, which convert into 2 molecules of the 3-phosphoglyceric acid. 3-phosphoglyceric acid convert into 3-phosphoglyceraldehyde, and out of the total number of 12 molecules, the 2 molecules are used for the formation of the fructose, and rest of the 10 molecules are again regenerated into the ribulose 1,5 biphosphate that we have already seen in the Kelvin cycle. But instead of carbon dioxide, when there is an increase in the concentration of the oxygen in the environment, here the ribulose 1,5 biphosphate absorb the oxygen. This is only because of the ribulose 1,5 biphosphate carboxylase having the high carbon dioxide compensation point. Means it need the carbon dioxide at a higher concentration for its absorption. If there is an decrease in the carbon dioxide and increase in the concentration of the oxygen, in such a condition, that enzyme is known as the ribulose 1,5 biphosphate oxygenase, and hence after absorption of the oxygen from the environment, instead of the carbon dioxide, here it convert into 1 molecule of glycolate and 1 molecule of the 3-phosphoglyceric acid. Now this 3-phosphoglyceric acid enter into the Kelvin cycle, and this 2 carbon compound, that is the glycolate, is entered into the C2 cycle, and hence we can say that here the C2 cycle, that is on the basis of the presence of 2 carbon components into the glycolate. From the glycolate there is formation of the glycine, from the glycine there is formation of the serine, then glycerate, and again the glycerate is converted into the ribulose 1,5 biphosphate. So in this way, here there is again another type of the photosynthetic process in which instead of the carbon dioxide, the oxygen is absorbed, and hence it is respiration. But here the components which are released during this process are used in the process of the photosynthesis, and hence it is known as the photorespiration. Now if we see the complete process of the photorespiration, it is carried out in the 3 different cell organelles, that is chloroplast, second one peroxisomes, and third one, that is mitochondria. So as we have seen earlier, when there is an increase in the concentration of the oxygen than the carbon dioxide, the ribulose 1,5 biphosphate oxygenase is responsible for its absorption, and it bind with the ribulose 1,5 biphosphate. So it convert into phosphoglycolate and 1 3 carbon compound, that is the 3-phosphoglyceric acid. This 3-phosphoglyceric acid is used in the Calvin cycle that we have seen earlier. And the phosphoglycolate is later on converted into the glycolate or the glycolic acid. This glycolic acid later on from the chloroplast transport into the peroxisomes, and in peroxisomes here in presence of oxygen it convert into the glyoxylate, and the glyoxylate again transform into the glycine. After formation of the glycine in the peroxisomes, again it transport to the mitochondria, and in mitochondria the two molecules of the glycine forms one molecule of the serine. The glycine and the serine both are the amino acid. When there is a combination of two molecules of the glycine, there is release of one molecule of the carbon dioxide, and hence here the 2-carbon compound, that is the glycine, is converted into 3-carbon compound with release of one molecule of the carbon and one molecule of the NH3. After formation of the serine, which is the 3-carbon compound, again it transported to the peroxisomes. In peroxisomes it converts into hydroxypyruvate, and the hydroxypyruvate converts into the glycerate or the glyceric acid. During this process there is need of the assimilatory power, that is NADH2. Then glycerate again transported to the chloroplast, and in the chloroplast the glycerate convert into 3-carbon compound, and that is 3-phosphoglyceric acid. And in this way here 3-phosphoglyceric acid again is one of the substrate in the Calvin cycle, and hence it is used in the Calvin cycle. As during the C3 cycle, if the carbon dioxide is absorbed, but at the same time in C2 cycle the carbon dioxide is released, and hence it is the waste of the energy which is used for the absorption of the carbon dioxide during the photosynthesis, and hence very commonly considered this process as a wasteful process. If you see the relationship between the C2 and C3 cycle, that is C2 is a photorespiration and C3 that is a Calvin cycle. So if you see this photosynthesis, and the rate of the photosynthesis increases with decrease in the concentration of the oxygen. But when there is an increase in the concentration of the oxygen, here the rate of the photosynthesis is going to decrease, and here this process is reversible inhibition. But when beyond the 80% of oxygen increase, then it considered as a irreversible inhibition. And again the percentage of inhibition is completely dependent upon the concentration of the oxygen in the cell. So here if the percentage of oxygen increases, the inhibition will also be increases. So on this basis we can say that if there is an increase in the oxygen, at that time there will be the C2 cycle, and if there is an increase in the carbon dioxide concentration, then there will be the C3 cycle. And this is because of what? In both these, here the carbon dioxide acceptor is RUBP, and the compensation point of the carbon dioxide to the RUBP is high, and this is the reason that the RUBP, instead of absorption of the carbon dioxide, it absorbs the oxygen from the environment, which result into the C2 cycle or glycolate pathway or the photorespiration. If you see the significance of the photorespiration, then the positive function of the photorespiration is not yet known. As already I have told you earlier, it is a wasteful process because in the C3 pathway there is a absorption of the carbon dioxide, and in the photorespiration or the C2 cycle there is a release of the carbon dioxide. Unlike the usual mitochondrial respiration, neither reduced coenzymes like the NADPH2, FADH2 are generated, nor the oxidation of the glycolate is coupled with the formation of the ATP. Means here in this process of the photorespiration there is not the formation of the assimilatory power as well as the ATP molecules. There is consumption of the reduced coenzymes and ATP in glycolate metabolism, and hence again it is the waste of the energy which is produced during the respiration. And 50% of carbon dioxide fixed by the C3 plants may have to pass through photorespiration process, and because of that we can say that there is a maximum loss of the energy which is used in the absorption of the carbon dioxide. Again, the photorespiration is found in C3 plants and it is absent in the C4 plants. And this is because of what? In the C3 plants, the carbon dioxide acceptor is 1,3-biphosphoglyceric acid, and in C4 plants or CM plants, the carbon dioxide acceptor is phosphoenol pyruvic acid. So, as the RUBP having the high carbon dioxide compensation point and the phosphoenol pyruvic acid having the low carbon dioxide compensation point, it can absorb the carbon dioxide even with the low concentration, but at the very lower concentration the RUBP is unable to absorb the carbon dioxide from the environment, and instead of it can absorb the oxygen, and hence there is a C2 cycle or the photorespiration. Friends, thank you very much for listening of this lecture completely. If you will have any doubt, you can give it in the comment. The answers will be provided to you as soon as possible. I am very much hopeful and confident that this lecture will be helpful to you in preparation of your examination. Friends, if you like this lecture and if it is beneficial to you, then kindly like, share and subscribe our YouTube channel Botany for You. And also press bell icon for the alerts of every lecture to be uploaded on different life sciences titles. Thanks a lot once again.